Back to your cancer story. What was your first reaction when you heard the news?
My wife and I had just gotten back from Germany. There's some ministry partners that we support over there. And so we had gone over to Berlin, had a great time. We're helping with soccer camps for refugees. And I was kind of sick a little bit, but I didn't know if it was like an age appropriate thing, like kind of when it comes to colon rectal, like it's kind of like embarrassing a little bit because like obviously some symptoms that you have are like kind of things you don't necessarily talk to people about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like I got this lump in my
right.
back, kind of.
Yeah,
So my wife was on me to go see my doctor. I just went in and said, hey, just so you know, I've got symptom A, B, and C going on. And so for people that don't get checked or don't know, so sometimes what happens, like my mom died of a heart attack and she was probably 65, 67, something like that.
mm,
And she was an anxious woman. And so, we know that a lot of times women get diagnosed as being anxious and it's actually they have heart issues, but it
okay.
presents like it's a panic attack or stress or something like that. And
Yeah.
so my mom died of a heart attack. And so it's kind of the same thing for men and women, age 35 to 50. What will happen a lot of times people will say things like, well, it's probably just hemorrhoids. Like that was my thing. Like that's really typical this season of life. You're under a lot of stress, you're older, you're probably not
Hmm.
eating healthy. It's probably just, hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was couched like. Yeah, you're obese, you're overweight, but like your blood pressure is like not terrible. Like you're on blood pressure medication and it's holding just fine.
Yeah.
Your heart seems to be great, and blood work didn't really show anything. The nurse left, and I was like, "Hey, doc, dude, I'm bleeding every day." I never heard back from the place for about 3 weeks from the place that was supposed to schedule a colonoscopy. He was just like, "Well, they've lowered the age now for people to get colonoscopies,
Yeah.
and you're in that age range. So why don't we just go ahead and make sure everything's okay and just get one scheduled?" I didn't hear back for 3 weeks or so, and I called the doctor's office like, "Hey, nobody's contacted me from this group that was doing the colonoscopy." So he said, "Well, or the nurse said, let me take care of that." The next like 2 hours later, I got a phone call from this place. They scheduled a colonoscopy. It was towards the end of all of the social distancing and stuff like that, but it was
Yeah.
still very like when you went in for a procedure, like somebody dropped you off, you went in by yourself and somebody picked
Hmm.
you up at the door. Like they couldn't come in with you. My wife dropped me off at the door. I
Hmm.
went in for the colonoscopy and I woke up and my wife was in the room with me. And I was like, oh, this isn't good.
Man.
Because I knew if everything was okay, they would walk me out to the exit and she'd pick me up and we'd be on our way. And yeah, the doctor came in and said, I've been doing this a long time. This is cancerous. It's lower and it's large, which both those things are bad. And he said, obviously we'll wait for the pathology to confirm that, but I've been doing this a long time and I know what I'm looking at. Yeah, so that was when I found out. My reaction, I just remember laying there, and it's an awkward kind of thing because you're laying down. So you're
Hmm.
kind of in a very vulnerable position.
Yeah.
It's not like you had results or tests done and you went in and sat in front of the doctor in their office and
Right.
you're both sitting at chairs. So like I'm laying down, I'm coming out of this
Just
sleep that I
woken
was
up.
in, and my wife's there, and I could tell that she's trying. And my wife does not handle stuff like this well at all. Like I
Yeah.
could tell she was brave. Like she was trying to be, oh, like that's really like great that like I could come in and be here and like, oh, this is a nice office. Yeah, she tried to act like she doesn't know something, is going on. Yeah, I just remember tears coming down the side of my face. Not like a death sentence, not like well, when you're in a situation when you're driving a car and you almost are in a horrific accident that obviously you wouldn't have made it from, or if you've ever had like a life and death experience, like maybe being in a dangerous neighborhood or something like that, and there's guns going. It wasn't like that kind of feeling. It was just, yeah, it was really sobering.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Yeah.
And so in my field as a pastor, I'm in hospices, I'm in cancer wards, I'm in people's homes, sitting across from people that just got the worst news in the world all the time. And so when you're told that, here I've got the most amazing person in the world sitting next to me, I'm instantly thinking about like, will she be okay? Like, will
Yeah.
she be taken care of? Like, we have three beautiful gifts, three beautiful children will they have what they need? And I know God will take care of them, but there's a lot of responsibility that I carry anyways as a husband and as a father, that all of that was like really hitting me of like, how do I do this well? But like
Yeah.
also, yeah, it's just kind of surreal. Like, man, my number's been called, like I'm
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I know that feeling. I was there with my wife when she was diagnosed and the doctor. Yeah, so it was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.